What's happening, everybody? Tyrone Bowman live. Welcome to the program on tonight. This is coming out of Washington, D.C., according to CBS News. The headline reads, "A judge will not block Musk and DOGE from accessing data or making cuts at 7 federal agencies." So let's get down to business here and find out what's happening with this article that was written by Melissa Quinn. A federal judge on Tuesday declined to stop Elon Musk and the White House's Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, from accessing data systems at 7 federal agencies and firing or putting their employees on leave. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan rejected a request for a temporary restraining order sought by 14 Democrat-led states as they pursue a challenge to Musk's actions. The states have argued that Musk, who the White House said is categorized as a special government employee, has unchecked authority and is violating the Constitution's appointments clause. But in a 10-page decision, Chutkan found that the states have failed to show what they will suffer imminent, irreparable harm without relief. Quote, "The court is aware that DOGE's unpredictable actions have resulted in considerable uncertainty and confusion for plaintiffs and many of their agencies and residents," close quote, she wrote. Quote, "But the possibility that defendants might take actions that irreparably harm plaintiffs is not enough," end quote. Chutkan, though, added that the state's claim that Musk's actions violate appointments clause has serious implications. Citing Supreme Court precedent, she wrote that they are the executive abuses that the constitutional provision seeks to prevent. Musk has not been nominated by the president nor confirmed by the U.S. Senate as constitutionally required for officers who exercise significant authority pursuant to the laws of the United States, Chutkan said. Bypassing this significant structural safeguard of the constitutional scheme, Musk has rapidly taken steps to fundamentally reshape the executive branch. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Judge Tanya Chutkan, she is a black judge, if I'm not mistaken. President Trump issued an executive order establishing the Musk-led DOGE on his first day in office and tasked the agency with reducing the size of the government and cutting federal spending. Since then, DOGE's employees have been dispatched to more than a dozen agencies to implement Mr. Trump's agenda. In a court filing on Monday, the White House sought to clarify that Musk is not the former head of DOGE, but oversees the effort as a senior White House advisor. That I don't believe, because he is an unofficial employee. And also, many of the people who are hurt by this, they are Republicans. Many of them are MAGA employees within the government who voted for this political carnage. Many of them will not admit it because they claim this is what we voted for. That is not true. That is not true. They had no idea what was coming because they thought that all the reactionary things that were going to take place was going to harm black people in particular. Well, it has the adverse effect now. DOGE's actions raised alarms for Democrats and labor unions representing federal workers after it was revealed that Musk and his team had gained access to government systems. Musk has publicly called for entire agencies to be deleted. And DOGE has claimed on social media that it is responsible for contracts being canceled. Well, what about his own contracts? He was just awarded a $300 million contract, a governmental contract. Let me say that again. He was just awarded a $300 million governmental contract. As a matter of fact, he has plenty of governmental contracts. That's how he has amassed his wealth. In an effort to combat DOGE's efforts, several states and the unions have filed federal lawsuits seeking to stop the task force from having access to information and payment systems. Democrats, what y'all need to do, I told you in a couple of videos, but y'all don't like to listen, so I'm going to try it again. You're fighting a losing battle on this front. Get your act together. Prepare for 20. Listen, let me give you a theme that you need to use. Call it Project 2026. Midterm elections. Revenge and retribution. That should be your theme going into the midterm elections. Project 2026. Midterm elections. Revenge and retribution. Change the trajectory of the Congress. Change the trajectory of the Senate. That's how you get control over the government. Get it together. The case before Chukin was filed last week and claims that Musk's actions are a violation of the Appointments Clause and exceed the scope of his authority. Musk, the CEO of Tesla, Crappy Cars, and SpaceX and owner of X, is an unelected, unconfirmed government official who is exercising unprecedented executive authority, the state said in the court filing. An individual accountable only to the president, if he answers to anyone at all, is exercising apparently limitless power within the executive branch. The states wrote in their complaint. Mr. Musk's conduct has wreaked havoc on the federal government and caused mass chaos and confusion for state and local governments, federal employees, the American public, and people around the world who depend on the United States for leadership and support. The states asked Chukin to issue a temporary restraining order that would temporarily bar Musk and DOGE from accessing data systems at the Office of Personnel Management and the Department of Education, Labor, Health and Human Services, Energy, Transportation, and Commerce. They also asked her to prevent him from terminating, furloughing, or placing involuntary leave any federal employees at those agencies. The Justice Department, though, argued that the states cannot identify any imminent irreparable harm. One of the four factors they have to prove to receive relief that warrant the court's intervention. The Trump administration also said the relief sought by the states was too broad and would sweep in anyone affiliated with DOGE, including Mr. Trump and Senate confirmed administration officials. Well, didn't now President Trump, when he was candidate Trump, play the Constitution and play the entire system that was like a fiddle? Didn't he use the courts to stall, to prolong? And the Democrats had the advantage then and didn't take advantage of it. Justice Department lawyers wrote in a court filing that the state's claim that Musk has the authority to make decisions for the government is wrong and rests entirely on conflating influence and authority. That's a lie. An advisor does not become an officer simply because the officer listens to his advice. And stripped of their lengthy rhetoric, the states do not actually cite a single example of where Elon Musk or anyone at USDS has given him formal authority to exercise the sovereign power of the United States, they wrote, referring to U.S. DOGE service, the entity's formal name. A declaration filed by Joshua Fisher, director of the White House Office of Administration, noted that Musk serves as a senior advisor to the president as well as a special government employee. He has no actual or formal authority to make government decisions himself, Fisher stated in filing. Musk is also not the administrator of DOGE, according to the declaration. No, those idiot young people that he put in there, I guess they're the ones running it. Every decision that's happening at DOGE has been authorized for him to make it. And he is the head of it. He's making the decisions. He is running the so-called government office of efficiency. Chukin held a hearing to consider the state's request on Monday, and she appeared skeptical that the states had shown that they would be immediately harmed by Musk and DOGE's actions. A generalized fear that this is going to happen, even if it looks like it's likely to happen, is not enough to satisfy the need for a temporary restraining order, she said. I'm not seeing it so far, Chukin told a lawyer for the states, adding that they were effectively seeking a prophylactic temporary restraining order, which she said is not allowed. Well, they need to appeal it. That's how you counterattack it. But Anjana Samat, a lawyer for the state of New Mexico, which is leading the suit, called DOGE and its actions a one-of-a-kind situation. The nation has never experienced this type of wielding of power in this way, she said. Chukon warned that the alleged actions by Musk and DOGE are concerning and troubling. She said the mass firing of thousands of federal workers is not a small or common thing and noted that Musk has not been nominated to a position by the president nor confirmed by the Senate. Musk, Chukon said, is a private citizen tasked with directing an organization, DOGE, to have access to the entire workings of the federal government. She noted that according to the states, the task force has fired workers, cut contracts, and terminated programs, all without apparently any congressional oversight. The allegation isn't that agencies can't manage their own workforce, she said. The allegation is that DOGE is coming into these agencies and accessing data and firing people, terminating contracts. They're essentially running the government. That's the problem. But Harry Graver, a Justice Department lawyer, said, this is not a single instance of Musk or USDA's commanding these actions, and they are instead being taken by high-ranking agency officials. In filings Monday submitted after the hearing, Justice Department lawyers reiterated that the Trump administration is not aware of any source of legal authority granting USDS or the U.S. DOGE Service Temporary Organization the power to order personal actions at any of the agencies listed above. You know, lawyers get paid to lie, especially when they're making a lot of money. They'll work for either side. It doesn't matter. Chukon she oversaw the federal prosecution of Mr. Trump that was brought by former special counsel Jack Smith in Washington, D.C. The president faced 4 counts stemming from what prosecutors alleged was an unlawful plot to subvert the transfer of presidential power after the 2024 election, of which he lost. Chukon granted a request from Smith to dismiss the case after Mr. Trump won the presidential election in November because of a Justice Department's policy that forbids the prosecution of a sitting president. I'll keep you updated on what's happening and what's going on. Never surrender, never quit.